Get in, nerds. We are playing... I almost said Burden of Command. We are playing Victoria 3. And we are getting our war on Kolhapur on. And it's about to get started. I think after this, I'm going to go after Bengal. But we'll see. Got our first battle kicked off here. And it looks like we are winning, which is excellent. I'm very pleased to be winning this war. Rubber discovered in Chiang Mai. Very cool. Enjoy that, Chiang Mai. Really happy for you. Not even being mean about it. Genuinely happy for you. This fleet's up to 80. Hopefully they'll get up to 90 soon. Interestingly, I do have access to ironclad, but I'm not currently producing ironclad. Ooh, repeaters. Excellent. So let's go ahead and get our arms industries making repeaters. Obviously that makes them less productive because there's too many of them, and later on in the game, the size of armies does not really go up. How are we doing? First field army is looking pretty good. What's this? This is Nova Goa, a Portuguese treaty port. Okay, so Portugal already has a treaty port in our market, so I'm not too concerned about that. Battle number 2 is looking good. Very nice. We're getting Afghanistan down a little bit. Empty pockets. A series of perceived poor decisions by the peasant movement has led to a notable decrease in its ability to raise money. Numerous wealthy sympathizers have quietly halted their support for the movement in its current form. We don't wish to appear partisan. Always the same refrain. The organizer paced back and forth within his tiny office, fist clenched until it felt as if his knuckles were about to burst through his skin. Occasionally he stole a glance at the unopened envelopes on his desk, all of which he knew would repeat a variation on the same. Partisan. What did it mean? That they cared for something? That they had chosen to do something beyond count the money in their vaults? He had something important to do, something which would improve society itself. They had a chance to do the same. In that light, how could partisanship possibly be bad? Perhaps it will find an alternative source of funds. 2% of pops in Beijing become more loyalist. Beijing. Peasant movement reduced movement pop attraction. Or everything dies in the end some faster than others. Significantly reduced pop attraction. I don't really need a peasant movement at this time. The peasant movement has essentially accomplished all that it set out to. Well, not better taxation, but that's not really in the cards. Alright, everything dies in the end, some faster than others. We'll just reduce their strength completely. So, what would be ideal is if I can get Afghanistan reduced in liberty desire before I take Kolhapur. I think that's going to happen, because we're going to need to win 2 more battles here. And this is the capital. But then we'll have to wear them down on war support, and that seems like it may take a bit. So hopefully we'll get a few more weeks in here of Afghanistan going down in Liberty Desire, so that we can get them reduced to a vassal before we take Kolhapur. And then Kolhapur won't be affected by their Liberty Desire, won't be affected by my having just reduced the Liberty Desire of Afghanistan. That's the goal. That's the way I'm thinking about this. Alright, a donation of knowledge. Ooh, I love this event. Zhu Li has offered to spend some of their personal wealth to fund the creation of a university in southern Manchuria. Though this will likely give the industrialists some influence, the Zhu Li University will be a proud bastion of learning in these times of rapid progress, where knowledge truly is power. A wonderful idea. Size 1 university, industrialists slightly stronger. Or no, we can't give them a platform, industrialists salty. I'm going to do the first one. Oh, my Democrat retired. Alright, well, that's okay. Voting rights will be a one-day thing, but not today. A foreign manifesto. The recently translated works of Dekil Aideo have become popular within the modernization movement. The relationship has developed to the point of Dekil Aideo openly endorsing the movement. Who are you? You are a brigadier general in exile from Assam and a protectionist. Interesting. And for a whole large class, there is no other road, especially for a nation so eminently practical as the Qing. The great thing is to get the working class to move as a class, that once obtained, they will soon find the right direction, and all who resist will be left out in the cold with small sects of their own. Our struggle is an international one, 10% stronger movement, or foreign interference ought to be punished. Weaker movement, but more active. Industrialists, mad and weaker. I'm going to do the first one. I don't want to weaken the industrialists. Industrialists are my boys. So basically, of these groups, the petit bourgeois is the one that's the most sort of amenable to my interests medium term. Because they've got a protectionist in charge, and protectionism is nice. Although I'm doing laissez-faire right now, and we're all right. Good, not foreign. The influx of foreign investment from Prussia has aroused fears among nationalist groups. The petite bourgeoisie, ever wary of foreign subversion, have aligned themselves with the Anti-Prussian Association in response. They build all their factories from cardboard and lead chips, and their steel is only fit for razor blades. And even then, if you use them, they're liable to give you bruises. The circle of men roared with laughter. The man with the red cravat gave a knowing smirk and continued with his pitch. If we let them buy up our land, there'll be a Prussian spy in every dormitory within the year. I know them well. I spent a month in Berlin, you see. Options are what is to be done, they join the Anti-Prussian Association, or a collection of paranoid children, they join the Anti-Prussian Association and they become salty and less powerful. I'm going to go with the first one. I think it's fine if, I don't love them joining the Anti-Prussian Association, but I can't do anything about that part, so, it is what it is. Perfect. Alright, Afghanistan has fallen in Liberty Desire. I am going to reduce their autonomy. It's going to give everyone else greater Liberty Desire. But, that's okay. I can live with that. And now we'll get our nice Qing gold spreading westward. Sadly, Persia has become a subject of Russia, and I can't steal them away without antagonizing the Russians. But that might, that might be potentially worth it. What would it cost? Transfer subject 44 infamy. All right, so it'd be a lot of infamy, but it would be a nice thing to do. Ottoman Empire, you're still a major. And Persia, you're a minor. An unrecognized regional power, that is. Alright, we are basically... We're going to land here soon enough. And then we should only have the one more state to take. Let's see if they're willing to accept tributaryhood right now. Doesn't seem like it. Yet. But, we'll grab their capital and then see how they're feeling. Nice, very good. Alright, so that lowers their war support significantly, and that allows them to accept the peace. Shabamzo. Nice. And now we improve relations. We reduce subject... Wow. Big economy. And we reduce subject payments. And then I don't have enough influence to improve relations. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm going to stop improving relations with Bengal right now so that I can improve them with Kolhapur instead. And the reason is because I'm going to end up going after Bengal. I'm going to grab Arakan and Assam, and then I'm going to enforce some other war goals. I'm not going to do it right now immediately, but very soon. And we're going to see if that affects my recognition situation. Progress bar has reached 200, so I'm hoping it ends up being like 20 or 30 for each. Oh my. You got something going on over here. Oh, Scandinavian unification. Interesting. Against Holstein, which is here, and which is unaccountably independent. Interesting. They got free from Denmark somehow. Ah, Sweden merged up with Norway, but Finland is involved, and that means Russia will likely be involved. Yeah, Russia seems extremely likely to be involved. They're going to take Finland. I don't know why you're acting like it's not going to happen. Steal Liberia from the United States, but I don't want to do that. I mean, bold of me to assume that I would steal Liberia from the United States under those circumstances, that would be the outcome. But it won't be. Alright, I'm just waiting for my reputation to get a little bit better, because I don't want... Kolhapur is already going down in Liberty Desire. Khalsa Raj and Hindustan are. These ones have increased back above the line due to me reducing Afghanistan's autonomy. So I need to be careful. I can't subjugate Bengal, but I can break off bits. And that's what I'm going to end up doing. Or at least try to do. So. That's close enough. I'll have some infamy for a while. So, Arakan is going to take 16.1 infamy to conquer. And then Assam is going to take 15.2. So I'm going to be at significant infamy. If I do this, what does it look like? 37% chance they say yes. But I don't want them to say yes. There are a bunch of countries that could potentially step in, but won't. So, like, Great Britain, not going to step in at minus 114. So let's actually force a diplomatic play here. Because, again, the goal is, Bengal is a major. And they're recognized. In order to earn recognition, I've got to advance, I've got to enforce a war goal on a major power or above. So I'm hoping enforcing multiple war goals will do it. So, Arakan. What if I demand they abolish slavery? No, they're more likely to. You're not. Yeah, I need Arakan to be the target because the interests are lined up here. France will not step in because they're my ally. Alright, beautiful. Alright, this is looking good. Forced diplomatic play. Alright, so I'm gonna add a conquer state war goal on oh. They've got a bunch of small states that I could grab. For Burma. Interesting. Or for myself. Well, that changes things. I think I want to grab Pegu for, oh, this is for Lanfang. Where's Burma? For Burma. Because they've already got part of Pegu. That just makes sense. I'm going to add... How's the sways looking? Sway's looking reasonable. I'm going to add another conquer, I think. Don't want to get above... I don't want to get above 50, because that's a real headache. So, I think I'll just grab Bengali Malaya for Burma. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Because I can invade those small areas with absolutely no problem. This is Luang Prabang, this is Chiang Mai. I don't think either of them needs Malaya. What about Brunei? This is Brunei, right? No, this is Lanfang. Huh, Brunei's not involved. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll grab that for Burma then. And then we'll do a ban slavery war goal. And I can't humiliate them, but I can throw in war reparations. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my remaining maneuvers to throw these two into primary so that they'll fight and I can get everything. That's the goal. That's the goal. So, 5th Field Army will be mobilized. We're going to be on the main front. There might be a front in Tibet, but I don't think so. And then we'll mobilize the 1st Coastal Force. And then we'll mobilize the 2nd Field Army as well. And basically, I'm going to do small naval invasions here to get my war goals, and then I'm going to naval invade the capital, and then I'm going to push against this area with just my current strength. So, let's see. Everything's looking the way I expect it to look. They're certainly going to fight with all these war goals, and we're going to see how much that impacts my recognition. On Empire's damaging relations, that's not a shocker. I'm a little bit short on influence now, which is costing me some prestige. But that's okay. These things happen. Joint stock companies. Beautiful. That increases my max number of companies. This force comparison is good enough, but maybe we bring in one more force. I can afford to spend some cash on this. How's the investment pool? Investment pool is doing well. They're not using the entire construction capacity of the country, but that is what it is. We got another army coming in here, so that's fine. This is a reactionary revolt in Belgium, where France is supporting the government. I am going to not bother with this. Seems like that's well in hand. Cash flow is bad, but this is temporary. This is due to the war and everything. Our infamy is going to make getting these countries down in Liberty Desire pretty difficult, but not too bad, hopefully. It just means we'll need to be a little bit more careful going forward to not be getting real greedy in situations where we can't afford to be greedy. This also gives me a good sense of like how much it costs for me to be waging wars at this stage and on this scale. Alright, so nobody has stepped in. I think my chances are very good. Obviously, I'm going to heed the lessons of the previous war and not rely too much on pushing through this tiny space, because I think dealing enough damage to the enemy to be able to actually do anything when we're going through there, not a great prospect. So, we will naval invade the capital with our main fleet. And we will start naval invading the secondary fronts with our secondary fleet. And then obviously we'll get attacking on this here main front. And we've got a we've got armies from a bunch of our subjects as well. Oh, this is impassable. That's why I can't invade through there. Curious. Pretty, maybe kind of dumb for Hindustan to surrender to me when I couldn't actually go there, but I'm not complaining. That's, you know, that is what it is. Alright, so, battles have happened over here. That's good to go. And then Pegu next. Hey, they changed it to successful naval invasion. Yep, second field army is there. And we are landing. Beautiful. Occupation of Arakan is at 52% for our side. Very good. I need to construct a little bit more government capacity. So, let's go ahead and construct some government capacity. We'll do 4 levels. And we'll do it in southern Manchuria. Obviously, that's going to cost us a pile of cash, but that's alright. We've got the money. We can spare it. Alright, and now Pegu is taken. And Arakan is taken, so now we're pushing against East Bengal. West Bengal is the capital. So if we can get a hold of that, we can be in a real good spot. Harvest condition. Very good. This is obviously going to take some multiple battles, but we might be able to meet them there by going forward in Chittagong, but East Bengal. There's still a front over here in Assam, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Win this battle, we'll get a little bit more occupation. Yeah, 52% occupation. And then landing progress, we got 25%. Glad I got 2 armies here to deal with this. We got a little bit more bureaucracy now, so that should be just fine. My goodness, everything's on fire. Stop being on fire. I'm the Emperor. A brave engineer. A railroad accident in Sichuan was only narrowly avoided. Heavy fatalities due to the quick thinking of the train's engineer who perished in the crash. Only a few people died, but the wreckage will still take some time to clear. Come all you rounders if you want to hear a story all about a brave engineer. Thank goodness for quick-thinking engineers, infrastructure penalty, or railmen should get more than a song for dying on the job. -5 infrastructure and stronger trade unions. I'm going to go with the second one. I'm happy to have the trade unions be a group. The scholar officials demand the promotion of Brigadier General Hu Li, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath. But it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Zhang's face when the lieutenant general learned of his imminent ascension. Their rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he would have his due. Options are he's earned it, +2 interest group approval, or they'll not force our hand. They get unhappy, but the armed forces get happier. I'm going to say he's earned it. I want to keep the scholar officials happy, because again, them being happy will make them more amenable to my long-term agenda. Alright, we got... Do we have 2 fronts here? We have 1 front here. And I got 1 army up there already. And the other on the way to the other front. Oh, interesting. So this is... But Assam we've already got almost completely conquered already. Alright. Fronts have been consolidated. And we are on our way to the other front. They will currently accept all war goals. So, let's do it. Beautiful. So now, maybe this will take a month to go into effect. So we'll leave that for now. Arakan can be part of Burma. State. Arakan. Sorry for stealing the Himalayas. Alright. We'll check back again at the end of the month to see if our recognition is going up. And a reactionary revolt in Italy. What an interesting situation. And it looks like the government... It looks like the revolt is supported by the Austrians and the Spanish, so we'll see if Italy can handle it. Curious. How very curious. They're a universal suffrage monarchy compared to the government, which is also a universal suffrage monarchy. Hold on. Let me do a little comparison here. Is it about racial segregation? Seems that way. Yeah, must be. Curious. Very curious. Now, we do have some spots where we have low market access, and I think we need to deal with that. Southern Manchuria definitely needs a railway. It's a railway, I say. Oh, I started 2. Well, I might need 2, actually. Eastern Guangdong just needs 1 railway. Guizhou. Hebei. And Beijing. Six railways, 5 provinces. Should be good to go. Obviously that's costing me money, but I can afford it. I've got gold reserves in the pot. This is good. This is a very good construction pattern. Economy continues to grow. In fact, the economy has kind of doubled in the last, like, 2 years. The last, like, 10 years, which I'm feeling pretty happy about overall. Relations with Bengal are bad, but I'll be able to improve them again later. Got 43 infamy, so obviously my subjects are not feeling very interested in remaining subjugated, but we'll see about that. You are now a minor. Alright, well that was short-lived. I think this, I I think enforcing on a major or above might be bugged because this was supposed to get me some progress, and it didn't. And, you know, that's not ideal. Standard of living has fallen a little bit. I'm really hoping it doesn't end up doing that. Rivalry broken with between Portugal and Bengal. I don't have a rivalry with Bengal, do I? I cannot. They're too small now. That does mean I could potentially subjugate them, though. 48 infamy, but I could subjugate them and make them a tributary. I might just go ahead and do that. We'll see. I kind of got my hands full over here with a bunch of other subjects in India, but it would be productive to have Bengal as a subject. Paschim Bongo. Kuch Bahar. That's right. Afghanistan is likely to increase autonomy. Well, what is going on in Afghanistan? Why is their liberty desire so large? But our relations are so good. I'm going to exempt them from service for now. Still going up. It's that freaking infamy. It's that freaking infamy. My own curse my sudden but inevitable betrayal. Alright, let's take a quick look at the economy and see what we need. We need more engines. We need more fishing. A little bit low on fishing, and obviously grain we need more of. How's food security? Just in China, all states, it's not great. We definitely need to improve food security. I think after this, plan is a big, after the railways, I think plan is a big ol' food construction blitz. Based basically on where we've got starvation, because that's the primary thing. 6% starvation here. Let's go with 2 levels of rice farms. Western Guangdong, 9% starvation here. Let's go with 6 levels. Roughly a 50% increase. Guangxi, 10% starvation. Let's go with 8 levels. Virtually a doubled output. I did Western Guangdong, Eastern Guangdong, 5%. We got 9. Let's increase by 3. Let's increase by 5. Fujian, we have 10% starvation. Oh, 10% in mild starvation. Alright, so it's not as bad as it could be. We'll build 5 levels here. Double the size. Jiangxi, 12%. Oh, those numbers are really bad. Nice even 10 levels here. Zhejiang, 7% in starvation. Let's just build 2 more levels here. Hunan, 10% in starvation. We'll build 4 levels, bring it up to 10. Guizhou, 6%. Let's double it. Let's bring it up to 6, just to be safe. Sichuan, 7% in starvation. No rice farms. We'll build 4. Chongqing, what does it look like here? It looks like 12% in starvation. That is not good. No rice farms here. We'll build a nice even 10. Western Hubei, 10% in starvation. Let's build 4 levels. Eastern Hubei, 9% in starvation. We'll build 4 levels. Southern Anhui, 12%. Oh, that's really bad. We're going to need to build a bunch of levels. Let's build up 10. Suzhou, this is Shanghai, right? Yeah. 10%. Gosh. No rice farms here at all. We'll build 6 levels. Jiangsu. Hu Ting has appeared. He's a protectionist. Alright. 9% in starvation will build 4 levels. Add to the 8 that are already there. Shandong, 9%. We'll double it up to 8. Hanon, 2.5. 10% of the population starvation. No rice paddies will build 10. Or rice farms. If they're subsistence, they're paddies. If they're industrial, they're farms. Ditto here in Xi'an, we're going to do the same. This is going to necessitate a bunch of railways and a big expansion of the fertilizer industry, but it is what it is. It's got to be done. I got starvation here. Can't do much about Qinghai, but I can build a few more livestock ranches. Tarim Basin, a couple more wheat farms. Ely, bring it up to a nice even 4. Kyrgyzia, we'll do the same. Dzungaria, 2 more levels. Tuva, actually 14% starvation here. Let's build 3. We'll do 4. Uliastai. All we got is livestock ranches and they can't hire, which is a little bit of a shame. We'll build 1 level here. Urga. Oh, things are rough in Mongolia. 13%. We'll go up to 8 levels of wheat farms and 1 more level of rice, of livestock ranches. Inner Mongolia now, it's only 6%. We'll do 2 and 1. We'll double the food supply. Shanxi, 9%. Gosh. Wheat farms are being built here. We'll build 4. Hubei we already did, right? Yes. No. We did not. 7%, 2 levels. Beijing, 8%. Gosh. Double it, 3 levels. And finally, we'll hit Manchuria. Starvation is not too bad here. No, a little worse in southern Manchuria. Northern Heilongjiang could be better. And then North Jilin. It's pretty rough. We'll double the size of the livestock ranges. Now, to support all this, we're going to need a lot more fertilizer. I believe northern Anhui is where I've been building my fertilizer industry. So let's double the size of the fertilizer industry to accommodate this. And that should... Yeah, because fertilizer is already moderately expensive. A good vintage. The wine produced in Chongqing has been lauded by sommeliers as outstanding. When people say something ages like wine, they don't always make the distinction between wine and wine. So let me make that distinction. If you can get your hands on a bottle from Chongqing, that bottle can be more than just a good time. It can be an investment. Options are make this an exclusive product for export, plus 5% prestige, or increase production to meet the booming demands, extra throughput. I'm going to do the first one. I always do that. I'm never hard up for wine. I'm building a ton of farms. So let's build a ton of fertilizer plants to get those farms ready to operate. I wish I could kind of make... The one thing I wish you could do with the construction queue is kind of get swim lanes, where you're like, I want, you know, maxed out production and everything in this column, and this column, and this column, so that you could automate the interspersal of different production. Lost to General. And all I got is Scholar Officials Dorks. Let's throw Scholar Officials Dorks in these smaller armies. Got a couple of arrogant surveyors here. Ooh. We've got a couple of armed forces fellas. This guy in particular is a charismatic offensive planner, so he's going to get a giant promotion. And then we got an event. Spread thin, the limited political resources of the literati have made the group's leadership question its membership in both the Qing American League and the Anti-British League. And for office supplies, on average, the auditor turned a page to the relevant entry and ran his eyes down the column, 300 crowns per month. For the man who stood across from him, the world was beginning to spin. You're certain? And 1,200 for work-related travel expenses. Excuse me, he managed. Could I have a copy of the manifest? I need to meet with my colleagues at once. There's no reason to remain in the Qing American League. Perhaps the Anti-British League is no longer useful. Abandoning either would be unwise. They get weaker. I'm going to have them leave the Anti-British League. I don't necessarily need an anti-British lobby full of literati. Ooh, I finally have a moderate in the literati. Excellent. You know what this means. It means that if I can get... Okay, so. It means potentially democracy. So far, only the literati and the trade unions would support shifting to a democratic stance. Armed forces will be salty. We got a protectionist up here. Can I bring in anyone? Dang. Alright. So, it's on the docket. It's a plan. It's gonna happen. But later. I will reward you, only later. Some Dark Souls fella. Johnny W. Dark Souls. I'm gonna stop improving relations with Russia. Instead, I'm gonna improve relations with Bengal. I don't want relations with Bengal to be too terrible, because I want to subjugate them, and I don't want them to be wanting to be free immediately upon being subjugated. Afghanistan is still going up in Liberty Desire, which I don't love. I am going to... Oh, no, I can't knowledge share them. I need my tech spread. The only path is to reduce our infamy. That's what we're going to have to do. That's the only way. Researching tech, hand-cranked machine gun. Excellent. I don't wish to support the independence of Denmark. The issues of the Danes do not concern the celestial throne. We still have a barrel full of unrealized taxes, but again, I don't think that's going to be solved until we're, realistically, I think until we hit central planning and telephone and get ourselves telephone switchboards. So it's going to be a bit. We're careening towards steel railways, so that's going to be nice. But actually, this is all the time we've got for this episode. My nerds, I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun. And I will see you on the other side.